Yo, 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 this is your boy Fireworks, and welcome back. This is Snooper's Gonna Snoop YouTube channel. The beautiful white gold is here with us today. And of course, we are about to go see Smile 2, okay? Smile came out 2022 alongside of like movies like Barbarian, The Black Phone, and it was one of the better horror movies or scary movies of that year. I remember I gave it like a 7.5. White Gold kind of liked it. She was kind of in the middle about it. But I kind of had some ideas that we kind of theorized and stuff. So maybe we see him come to life in this Smile too. It looks like this is going to be kind of on a bigger scale than the last movie because it looks like we're dealing with a pop star this time. Someone that's like a musical artist or something. At least that's what it looks like from the trailers. Okay, so White Gold, how you feeling about seeing Smile 2 tonight?
I'm kind of looking forward to it because at the end of like when we watched the first one, I kind of didn't really know what to say. Like, it was kind of a new concept. It's a lot to soak in for a first time kind of thing, but I'm definitely interested because I don't know. It's always like some kind of evil devil something. So I'm more curious maybe to see like how it's started. I know we're not gonna get that, baby. I don't know, we might, but I'm curious to see what kind of ideology this one has in store.
Okay. So, of course, you know how we get down. Dizzy's going to meet us at the theater. So, we're going to get his thoughts when we get out of there, okay? And yes, this will be a spoiler review, okay? We're going to spoil it at the end. So, I'm excited to take a look. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm excited to see something that's new, get a sequel, and I'm excited to hear good things about it. So, I'm hoping that it sticks the landing. If it sticks the landing, then we're talking about Smile,
Smile trilogy
being bigger than we actually thought. You know what I mean? And that's kind of cool. So make sure you guys leave a thumbs up and leave a like. If you're new here to the channel, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell so when we do a video just like this one, you all will get them first. Okay, so we're going to go see Smile 2. We're going to get Dizzy's thoughts when we get out of the theater, and then we'll be back to talk with you guys. All right, so we'll see you on the other side. I'm Fireworks, the beautiful white gold. This is Snooper's Gonna Snoop YouTube channel, and we back. Okay, Dizzy, we just got out of Smile 2. How you feeling about that one? You give it 2 thumbs up? Okay.
That was superior in every way to the first one to me. I'm somebody that enjoyed the technical aspects of the first movie, like the cinematography and the way they utilized jump scares and like the atmosphere and color grading even on the film to establish the spooky atmosphere and everything. But I thought that like the plot and certain bits of the concept in the first one were really like run-of-the-mill type stuff, like, oh, this thing is taking over my body. I'm the only one that can see what's going on. Nobody understands what's going on. Like it just became the same old thing. Well, it's something that we've already seen. It's kind of derivative. But this one, I wanted to see what it was going to look like on a bigger scale because now we're dealing with a pop star who has encountered this this force or this supernatural force or whatever, and still not quite sure as to where it comes from or anything, but it really doesn't add much to the lore in this one, but it does expand what this thing can do and how far it can spread and what it can do. So I really, really enjoyed that. But Naomi Scott was great in this movie. She really, really turned it up. Have an appearance from Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son. And then I like how he's in a movie about a smile. And his dad was the Joker. But now like everybody did great in this movie. They utilized the jump scares really well in this one too. But yeah, this one did exactly what a sequel should do. It should elevate what the first movie had already done. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie, this one has me invested in the franchise now because the way that it ends, it it's going to give us a picture as to where it could possibly go. And I think that the next time, if done right, um, it's going to take things to a whole nother level. So I'm invested now. But not like I said, I really, really, really enjoyed this. I would definitely watch that again. I give that like a 9 out of 10. And for the ones, everybody's got their opinions, but people who say that they are disappointed by this one, I don't believe you. But everybody's got their opinions or whatever. But yeah, go check this out. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like I said, this was superior to me in every way to the first film. So yeah, go check out Smile 2. Really enjoyed this.
All right, bet. All right, you guys, so welcome back. We just got back in from seeing Smile 2, and we got a cool little poster, which I'm excited about. I love getting posters like this, but you all check out how cool this little, apparently special edition poster that they give us, at the movie theaters. I grabbed one. I got one for Sonic. I got one for, Godzilla versus Kong.
Ninja Turtles.
I got a Ninja Turtles one. I got two Mission Impossible ones, you know what I'm saying? So, cool little thing that you leave with the theater, and it was free. You dig? I like that. It had tons of them. I wish I could, send them to all you all so y'all can have one, because it looks like that no one cares other than, people like us. But anyway, we just got back from seeing Smile 2. So before we get into this will be spoilers, okay? So I know Dizzy might have spoiled it, talking before us and stuff like that. But like I said in the beginning of the video, this will be a spoiler review. So that way, if you ain't seen a movie, you can go see it, come back and watch the review, see how we feel, see if it leads up to, meshes up with how you feel about it or whatever the case may be. But, this is spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, click off now. We don't want to spoil you, but we're gonna get into it, all right? So, White Gold, how do you feel about Smile 2?
I think I like this one better than the second one.
First one.
Yes, the first one, sorry. I like this one better than the first one because this one has more of like a psychological thriller aspect to it. And I really like those movies, like those kind of movies. And this one has that a lot. And I really like it because there's certain scenes like you don't know if it's real or not. Because when she's in the car with our, when she was in the car with our friend, and then she snaps out of, they had this whole conversation and everything. She got in the car, told her to scoot over, and then she kind of snaps out of it, and she's in the driver's seat going to where she's trying to go. And it's well, what the heck? And it really plays with your mind. Don't get me wrong, they had the jump scares got me, because these movies, one thing about it is the jump scares is on point, because that's one thing I know I did say about the first one is the jump scares got me. And it's loud, it's timed perfectly, and they're really good. And this one did that also. As well as there's a little bit of body gore, body horror, but I really enjoy the turn of, because the first one, it just kind of goes through this evil parasite, let's just call it. And my thing was it didn't really have a rhyme or reason, or it was hard for me to follow along, I guess. But with this one, it kind of turns a little bit, and you kind of see the internal aspect after you get got, basically. You see kind of how it plays with your mind, and when did it start, and when did it, it's things like that are very intriguing and plays on your mind. But the thing at the end, I'm gonna complain about it, because it was this creature, which it is, and I do appreciate the concept of trying to show us kind of what these people see, because when you're on the outside looking in, it looks like there's nothing there. So it's what is she seeing? So I appreciate the idea of it, but it wasn't conveyed well. It wasn't, brought to us I think, in the best way to compliment the movie or go along with it, because it was such a terrible CGI job. Sorry to the editors who did it, but it kind of took away from it a little bit. But there were like a couple funny things in there, you know, like her knocking that old ass lady off the stage, or when she's like, you know, she sees the needle and she's like, well, I think you're gonna stick that in my neck. He's like, well, right down here, you know. It's like stuff like that kind of perks it back up. But I don't, other than the creature at the end and the beginning. Okay, so maybe the first like 30-40 minutes, kind of, to me it was kind of like, I really hope this isn't corny, because like it was just kind of the same things that are in a lot of horror scary movies, like, you know. And I just didn't want it to be cheesy or corny. But when it turned and it started playing with my mind, and like whether I didn't know what was real or not, that's when I was like, okay, you know. And the jump scares also as well, and then the funny of it. But like I said, that creature at the end is really probably my only complaint, because it gives us more of what it kind of adds to it. Like it adds to the first one, you know, like it adds more beef into it to kind of show us more or less what's going on. But I hope the end kind of leaves an opening for a third one. And at this point, you know, it's so many people witnessed it, like so thousands. So now it's like this smile devil, like, is plotting world domination at this point. So that would be like a great, you know, climactic ending to this Smile trilogy. I don't know. I'd probably give this movie like an 8.5, like a solid 8 at least. But those are my thoughts and opinions, humbly.
Okay. Well, I think that the movie is a good sequel. I think the movie's good. But my issue with it is the tone of it. The tone of today's horror, when you get like a major company behind it, it usually sucks, because they have to jump through so many legal hoops and hoops for theaters and ratings and the audience you're trying to pitch it to, your marketing, your everything. I think that all comes with it. So a lot of the times, like major, like a Universal horror movie, like a major pushed, invested, like Universal movie, kind of has like this roll off, like Disney, like Disney movies roll off some like stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like these other companies be doing that. And I feel like the Shudder, the Screambox, the Long Legs, the Traps, the Smile one, the first Megan, the Five Nights at Freddy, they all have this like aesthetic and tone that make that, or like a certain grit or an edge that gives the movie like a horror feel and vibe. Even Alien does it.
It's like a visual tone or like a grain to it. Right.
Even Alien does it. This movie seems too clean for the idea. And the more I thought about it, like, it's just like, it irritates me. Like, I love how the dark and the shadows and the lighting and the way it was shot. The first movie makes you and gives you the tone that you're in a creepy place. This movie doesn't give you a tone that you're in a creepy place or this is something creepy. This is more like Jason X or Jason Goes to Manhattan. It's a horror man who's gritty and swampy and done everything, but he's put in a city where he's dropped in space, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel like this, like this idea that was so spooky and creepy was dropped in pop culture, or like I don't know, like a certain side of YouTube or the internet, like dropped in that side of the internet. And I feel like the tone, the contrast don't mesh well, because what it does is, and which is why I think she likes it, is it kind of turns this movie more into
a psychological thriller. And as I was telling them, the actress that was the main character in this movie did an amazing job, because she made me frustrated at a point when she was screaming and upset. I felt it. Like it made me want to at a certain point.
Yeah.
So that did what it was supposed to do. But as far as it being scary, I don't know if I call it a horror movie. And because of the bad CGI at the end. The first one, the lighting, the way it looked, I know that in the first movie it was VFX, it was CGI, but the way it looked more practical. And of course, I told Dizzy the same thing. I know that this thing was unveiled on front center stage where all the lighting was at, so it was gonna be brightly lit. It was good. There's no way you can add darkness and shadow to that part to try to make it look some type of realistic. And there's not like a person you can do this practically with to then add stuff in post to try to get the effect off. So I get it. But man, it just looked like shit. It really looked bad. The part of her climbing in the mouth and opening the mouth up looked worse. Looked more scary and better VFX than the actual being did. And I think the actual being looked, like 1,000 times better in the first movie at the end. Because I was like, what is that? Like, what is, when I seen it this time, I was like, oh, there it is. And then I seen the bad CGI. I felt like I did when I watched that Nightmare on Elm Street, when the CGI came through the wall. And I was like, oh, why did y'all do that? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I felt. But like the jump scares are A1. They really, really got deeper with the actual idea, which is kind of what I like. They call it expanding, but I think it kind of got deeper, because it was like it turned into more when she met up with the dude and talking about there was 8 people before her, and it was her brother, and it was this thing is leeching off your bad thoughts in your mind. There is a lore to it. This thing is like a demon that leeches off of your bad ideas or your bad emotions in your mind. And basically the common denominator in all of these people is trauma. I don't know if you've noticed that, but every single person from the beginning, when in the very beginning of the first movie, old girl sees, she finds her mother OD'd, trauma. The person that came in to see her had trauma. The person who apparently, the girl who came in to see her in the beginning of the first movie, where we actually get to see it, she came in off the trauma of seeing someone get killed on top of the trauma that she had already. So all of these people have some type of trauma like this. Not only did this girl in this movie get into a car wreck and lose someone she was really close to, she was on drugs and she was going through it already, you know what I'm saying, and having a traumatic experience. So like trauma is kind of like like what gives the blood smell to this demon that leeches on to people's bad emotions and bad thoughts. And then, he eats off of you in your fear for like a week, and then makes you kill yourself in front of someone else. So then that can open the door for him to get to the next person. Because they were like playing, which it was all a lie. That whole sequence with the guy and then on the table and making your heart stop, all that shit was bullshit. So there's no really way to stop this thing. They was trying to stop old girl's heart, leave her in the cold, brain goes dead, lose oxygen, you permanent damage after 2 minutes. They try to keep her cold so he could stretch it to 9 minutes. He was gonna knock her out and put adrenaline in the heart and bring her back and all that, and it was all bull. For her to still wear the same dress that showed her scar, and for her to get got in front of all those people, which is what I said from the very first time we saw the trailer. The very first trailer, I said, oh, they're gonna make her do it in front of all these people. Because I saw the idea, I get it. Like there's only so far that the idea stays rich in value before you stretch it out and it becomes dense in some parts, becomes really thin in some parts. And that's kind of what Dizzy was saying. He liked the fact that they left it open so you can kind of tell more stories. And he didn't kind of like the first movie because he thought it was the kind of regular things that happen in horror. You know how they tell these stories and stuff like that. But like when I first heard of Smile, I could kind of see where you could go with it. And this movie, as far as scale wise, is where I was thinking. Having it be in front of a big audience like this, and have something crazy happen like that where a bunch of people see it, and they went there, they popped the willy. So like I think that the movie is a good sequel, but I think that I will take the first film because of the tone is a horror movie. I don't think that this is a horror movie. If I went in to watch this and they told me that it wasn't horror, I probably would have left and be like, oh, this is fine. But I hate the fact that this is being pushed as a horror movie when the tone of it is just so not. Very little gore in here, but they have gore. It's very small. The jump scares are A1. It's more, like she said, of a psychological thriller where it grinds your, like you get to see a person like get weighed down and tore down mentally, physically. She's already a performer, so she's physically tired. She's on a comeback, so she's still kind of mentally exhausted. And then she adds this thing that won't let her sleep, just making her think she's doing stuff that she's not.
Drinking 85 gallons of water a day.
Yeah, if you want me to spoil this movie, or you want me to tell you this movie without showing you nothing, a blonde-haired girl drinking Voss.
A whole bottle in 5 gulps.
Yeah,
it's
5
gone.
gulps. Every time she drinks the Voss in this.
It's gone. 5 gulps, gone.
And every time she took a drink in this
and
movie.
5 is cut pushing it.
Every time she took a drink in this movie, it was of some Voss. Voss water. Every
Voss
time.
got it off in this movie.
Voss. Voss had to be the big sponsor.
But that's like the you know what it reminded me of? Like a Devil Wears Prada. Or like it's got that style of like Bridgewater, even though it's not. I mean,
it fit the aesthetic.
Yeah, right.
Right. Then that's kind of how what I meant too about like the aesthetic of the movie just don't fit the idea. It's like,
or like, give me my Evian bottle. Like it just sounds.
It's like imagine taking Talk to Me to Miss Doubtfire. See what I mean? You drop something so scary and demonic, but drop it into Miss Doubtfire. Have Miss Doubtfire and the kids and her and the wife have all sit at the table with the head
the whole time.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's cool, but is it really? Does it mesh well? I hope that the next film they get back into like a darker tone. But like I said, oh girl, she killed this. Don't get twisted. Yeah. The main actress, if like this will frustrate you, this will get to you. She gets it off well, crying, the tears, and she does a good job of like throughout the movie, like unwinding more and more and more. Like even to the point where she was talking to her mama, her nose is running and she's crying in her makeup and she's breathing. I mean, it's everything. It's like she's juggling emotions, like and she's doing it at a high level. And then she like kills her mama. But makes it look how mama's doing it. And then she like really realizes what's going on. And she's like, and then she gets in the car thinking that she's with old girl. And she's not like that's the part where she's really like old boy said, like you need to do something now before it gets to a point where you don't know what you're doing in your life because this thing is faking you all the way the fuck out.
Right.
And it really did. Like it had her think that she was driving or riding in the passenger car seat. And she was the one that was driving, y'all. See, that's what I mean by like it got deep. Like it got deep with the lore of it. It's not just like I'm seeing scary people. Like it got real deep. I still think that the head from the first movie again is the better jump scare from both movies. There was a really good jump scare in this where she was in bed and then she wakes up and it's already light time, but in her dream or whatever she was having, it was dark. Where like she was like where she saw the car lights come through the eyes and the mouth.
Yes.
That was crazy. That was like you could see the skin glow around the eyes and the mouth.
That was good.
Like it's a really cool jump scare. But I think the better one is from the first movie where she leaves the party, she's in the car crying, and we see someone walking out to the car. They knock on the window and she looks over and then the head swoops down upside down. Like that was. You know what I mean? So there's nothing like that in here. But there are really good, loud jump scares. And the audio was really good in this movie. Like somebody did a really good job on the audio design and the scary music and the eerie music. Because that's really the only thing that gives it the vibe of something being kind of like horror. But like I said, it's like one level up from horror. It's not horror to me. The first movie I think is 100% horror. I think this is more like psychological thriller, like she said. You know what I'm saying? So I probably give it like a 7, like a solid 7. I think I gave the first one like a 7.5. So that's how I feel about it. But you all let us know down in the comments how you feel about Smile 2 if you've seen it. And if you haven't, go watch it, come back, check out the review, then tell us how you feel. All right. So of course, you know how we get down. Whenever the movie comes out, of course, we're probably gonna take a look at it on the channel. You know what I'm saying?
Now we can make a playlist.
Yeah, we can make a little Smile playlist. You see what I'm saying? So again, y'all let us know how y'all feel about Smile 2. Okay, so before we get out of here, make sure you guys leave a thumbs up and leave a like if you're new to the channel, and subscribe and tap that notification bell so when we do a video just like this one, you all will get them first. Okay, so of course we'll be back with more content and more spooky stuff because it's still Halloween and spooky season. All right, Firework, beautiful white gold. This is Snoopers Gonna Snoop YouTube channel. We out.